listened to by some sort of tech giant.
I know for sure that there's crowdfunding for speakers that are like Alexa. You can look up information and ask it questions and, responds the same way as Alexis. But it just doesn't store your information. It doesn't store it in the same way. And it also isn't listening all the time.
Right.
It's mostly about the storing of information.
Well, and I don't know how true this is, but would have to verify it, but I'm pretty sure that they can still listen through the microphone even when your phone is shut off.
Really?
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah, and again, that has to be verified, but I'm pretty sure that's a truism right there. So that's kind of concerning. The way I look at it, it is concerning, but maybe it's just because I've grown up with so much of the internet and social media and just having information out there that it doesn't scare me. Like, even though it is such a weird thing, I really feel like I should be more pissed about them listening, you getting ads on your phone for NBA stuff. You've never looked up anything on your phone, then we were just watching highlights last night and boom, you get some advertisement for that. I feel like I should be more upset over that. And there's a part of me that is, but then there's a good part of me where I'm just kind of like, I just kind of assumed that they would do that.
Yeah.
That these tech giants are doing that, and that like
it's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise. That's kind of unfortunate in a way, because a person that would maybe stifle a lot more outrage that people would have over the stuff if they wouldn't have otherwise grown up with all this internet and all this privacy kind of being unearthed and being okay with a lot of information being out there. Like, I'm sure there was a lot of dictatorships throughout the ages that would have been thrilled to have Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Like, people just voluntarily giving out information, like, on their profiles. Like, hey, here's my favorite movies, my favorite foods, my favorite books, my favorite like, here's where I go, here's where I check in. Like,
police state.
You just put a tinfoil hat on me right now.
Yeah.
And I guess, I'm not too worried about it, but it would be concerning. It would become concerning at some point in the future, maybe, if there was some sort of regime in place here in the States that maybe was utilizing that in a more nefarious way.
And I'm sure there's people who are, and you have these weird filters that you can look at yourself and it'll change your face, and we have facial recognition technology, and so you have these people looking at their phones making all these weird faces. They're getting all sorts of data to know exactly what you look like in every shape that you can make your face, and then you're walking down the street, security camera can spot you and can link you straight to your Facebook, email account, credit card.
That's low-key real about the apps and the filters with the face. I didn't even.
And there was a little thing going around where it was like, post your 10-year photo. So it's like
side by side.
Yeah.
Hey, here's what I looked like 10 years ago. Here's what. Oh yeah.
People.
They're talking about that with the genealogy stuff too, where people are routinely just sending in their DNA to these big genealogy companies, and there's we're in the pioneering stage of a lot of that, and so there's been some concerns raised hey, where's this DNA going after you're just sending it into these companies to trace because a lot of people are into tracing their family tree, and I admit it is kind of fascinating, and I would maybe kind of like to do that, but I'm just thinking, do I really want to be, and I know a couple people who I really like, and I kind of, at least insofar as it goes with this kind of subject, these bigger, more nuanced subjects, there's a couple people who I've talked to who are pretty smart when it comes to this genealogy stuff, and I find them pretty reliable, and they have the same amount of skepticism as I do. So that's kind of where I realized, maybe I'm kind of on point with this, of being concerned about this. And they kind of made the point where is this information going? Because there's no restrictions now of them selling this information to anybody else. And your DNA is just out there floating around. I don't know about you, but like I don't want my DNA showing up at a crime scene where I'm not ever at.
Yeah.
I mean, so obviously that's like the conspiracy way to think about it.
Yeah, that's the blown up.
But it's kind of like it does still remain like you're giving out so much information through your DNA and sending it to these companies under the guise of tracking your lineage. I'm sure it's all well and good intentioned right now, but it kind of makes you wonder where that's going.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to stop for that discussion.
Stop on the spooky.